Good morning. It's the day 120 on my hike from Mexico to Canada on PCT. That is Mount Thielsen, a beautiful view to wake up to. It is 6:45. I'm almost done packing up, and it looks like I have a really long water carry. I could either go 12 miles and then go a mile off trail in each direction, or go 16 miles and go 0.4 miles off trail. So I think I'm going to go for the second one. Mount Thielsen and Thielsen Creek. The water is ice cold. Like, honestly, it feels colder than the Sierra water to me, but maybe I'm just forgetting the Sierras. But definitely snow melt still. Pretty amazing this time of year. Speaking of, it is September 1st, day 120, September 1st. So, in theory, I've got 30 days left to make it to Canada. I'll have to end up pushing a few days in, I think, but hopefully the weather cooperates. It's a cool morning, though, for sure. So starting to feel that. I mean, I'm in over 7,000 elevation right now, so it's probably the main reason for that. But yeah, summer's gonna start phasing out here. I slept pretty well. It was just so good. The temperature felt so nice. It's kind of hard to get out of bed though today when it's cold, but it's 7 a.m. I'm up and moving. I've got a 16.0 mile water carry. So I'm gonna grab another liter here. I'm gonna take 2 liters. I'll plan to have lunch there. Well, I just filled up another liter and rinsed my socks off from yesterday. And I will tell you that is without a doubt the coldest water I've felt on trail, maybe in my entire life. I know it sounds silly, but I didn't know water could get that cold. Like, obviously 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing and all that. Like, I couldn't even put my hands in there for more than half a second to rinse my socks. Like, they're still stinging right now, and they've been out of the water for a minute and a half. It's crazy. It's very refreshing water to drink, I guess, though. Okay, 16 miles to go. I'll plan to take lunch there. The first half of the day is going to be a little easier in terms of elevation. Second half harder. I certainly would prefer the inverse of that, but can't change it. So 16 miles to get to water and a side trail to get to water, where I'll plan to stop for lunch too. First steps of the body, it's feeling okay. Overall, definitely the little, I could tell you 5 or 6 things that I feel every step right now, but in terms of actual intense pain or anything, pretty good. We'll see how that unfolds as the day progresses. Very quiet out here, except for those 3 Sobos and the one guy camped in the same area on the other side of the creek. Really haven't seen many people. Last night, I think 2 people passed by me, actually, other Sobos. So yeah, and then like the Nobos, I passed those 3 French people, and then the guy with the guitar. Besides that, I haven't seen any Nobos. I've seen a couple other names in the logbook for like the day in front of me, but that's really it. So quiet out here. I have about 21 miles to decide to this Windsor Pass, which is where I have to decide if I take the alternate for this fire. I can smell a little bit at the moment, but nothing where I need a buff or mask on. Right now, I'm leaning towards just doing the PCT. I would be in the huge minority for people that have, since the fire has started, that have actually done the PCT miles. But my rules and my criteria, I do every mile of PCT unless it is legally you're not allowed to, and then if I do any side quests, side trails, that I don't have to go back and rewalk the specific PCT steps if the side trail is harder. Those are my 2 criteria that I've held up to this entire time, and this fire doesn't check the boxes. So I am legally allowed to be on the PCT. The closure is everything west of the PCT. And the side trail for it proposed is easier. So I think I have to do the official route. And I will be almost guaranteed to be totally alone out there. Which kind of brings me to my original point. It's already fairly sparse and desolate out here just because I'm so behind. So going there will surely add to that, but that's okay. I can faintly smell smoke. It's nothing terrible where I need the mask on. There's Mount Thielsen. So cool. You can see the smoke out there a little bit. I think I said Windsor Pass earlier. It's a Wendigo Pass. That's where a lot of people have been rerouting around the, I think it's 9 core miles from 1890 to 1899, where the fire is closest and thus the smoke is the worst. So Wendigo Pass is I think 4 miles or so after where I'm planning to get water next and probably stop for lunch. So I'll use that time to make a final decision. All right, I'm an hour in, so it's just over 8 o'clock, and I did just over 3 miles. Time to take the warm-up gear off and probably have some donuts, little mini donuts, part 2 of my breakfast. I think it's really cozy how the forests look when the sun's just coming up in the morning, kind of reflecting in at an angle. Just passed my first hiker of the day, and he was a homie. He's just a really nice guy. Asked him, probably about my age, asked him some questions about the fire. So he took the reroute around, said it saves you 7 miles or so. I've heard 7, I've heard 9, so something like that. And there's more water. It's way more flat and easier, and it'll let you get to Shelter Cove quicker. He also said he only saw 3 hikers, Nobo hikers, the whole time on it. And that doesn't mean they're taking the PCT. It means, he said, everyone he's talked to, Nobos have skipped ahead. Not just because of the fire, just timing. I really think I am the last true Nobo out here. And my plan is to go on the main. He said the red line's probably fine, which is the official PCT, so it's gonna be steeper, less water, smokier, less traveled from other people, and take longer to get to Shelter Cove. But you know what? That is the official trail, so that's probably where I'll be going. To be extremely clear, when I say reroute, that's an alternate route around the PCT. It is not something that was proposed by the PCTA. It's just something that some local drew up for people. There is no official PCTA closure on the trail here, so I think that is my answer. This is nice, smooth trail, dug in. Kind of looks like a little Christmas tree lot or something. It's my first large mushroom sighting. It's pretty cool out. When I stop, you definitely feel it. All right, I just met a really nice Australian lady who I believe is about 70 years old. In great shape though, I'm like out here crushing it, but she, she does less miles. She said than she did when she first came out to PCT years ago. But anyways, she's the first person I've met that has gone through the actual PCT, did not take the reroute, and she said it was fine. So that's good. If she can do it, I can do it. Really happy to hear that. Obviously that could change. She said she doesn't know the latest stats of the fire, but it might even be like contained by now. I can't get service to check. I've been trying to for like a day and a half, or a day now. But yeah, so my plan will be to stick on the PCT because I have my standards and my rules, and to trek on from there. Just finished a quick 10-minute break with my feet elevated because I'd been going for almost 3 hours. I am almost 9 miles in, and I have a new plan because I've only consumed 1/4 of a liter of water, and I've been carrying 2 liters for a 16-mile water carry. I'm going to now turn that into a 22-mile water carry and carry to Wendigo Pass, which I know there's a water cache there. I think I'll be good. So probably have to stop for lunch before then, but it's only 10 o'clock right now. So we'll see how this pans out, but I feel good about that revised plan. I don't know what lake that is. Looked on the far out map, it's not labeled with what I have downloaded, but it's cool how the trees go right up into the water line. You can see the smoke too. Okay, I just walked by a signpost. It's Miller Lake. Well, this is funny. Someone beat me to it. Usually people write like motivational quotes on these tags and stuff, but these people have been signing their name, Disco and Ice, and dating it. I actually know both of them. They're awesome, but it's a little annoying. They've done it on like 5 trees now. So someone else already added Disco and Ice love ass. I'm gonna take a photo of this and send it to them. "17.5 miles in. It's a little after 1 o'clock. I'm pretty sore. There's been a ton of blowdowns. I just haven't filmed any. And I'm just gonna post up here for lunch. Well, I had to leave this lunch break a lot earlier than I wanted to because the shade that initially enticed me to sit here quickly went away, which is kind of a rookie mistake on my end. And these bees are just relentless as soon as I open my food. So I'm gonna try to get to the next 4.5 miles to get to this highway and water cache and away from these bees. Kitties in the jungle. I'm still a big fan of these shoes, but I'm having a blister starting to form. It looks really small, but it's painful. So I'm gonna try to treat it now, but I guess it's part of breaking in new shoes, but still a big fan overall. Okay, I'm less than half a mile from that highway and water cache. I did not really have any water insecurity over that. Somehow I made it 22 miles on 2 liters. I did drink a lot before I left this morning. And it seems this time of year, this area, to take a while to heat up. Like, it was so hot where I stopped for lunch. And like you can see, I have my hat to block out the sun right now. But it's like coming up on 3 o'clock. But in the morning, especially since there's a lot of forest, it was pretty covered. It really wasn't too bad. So it wasn't sweating as much. Thus don't need as much water. So I have come up with the term a pragmatic purist. I think that's what I am, because I'm not purist to the point where I've gone through other examples in these videos and it's just like stupidity. But like, I can say to this point, I have not cheated, and I've hiked this hike with integrity. I've hiked the Pacific Crest Trail to this point. So I'm not going to quit that now. So meaning I'm not taking the shortcut. I think it's smart because of the fire and the smoke, but I also think a lot of people just jump on any shortcut with any excuse they can come up with. And I know of at least one person who's gone through, and it is open, and per my standards and rules, I will be going through that. So I'm going to resupply, or I'm going to get water here at this cache, and I heard they also have power banks, so I might chill for a bit. It's also peak heat, and just let my devices charge. And then I will be heading out into the PCT that is next to the Emigrant fire that's spelled with an E. It is now 21,000 acres. I was able to get service on watch duty. It says 0% containment. And by my measurement on the app, it's 3.5 miles west of the PCT. So there's a stretch there where it kind of gets close and then the PCT kind of moves away. So I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't really want to camp right there. And I feel like my 30 miles I'm aiming for would land me around there. So I'm going to figure that out at this break. There's the beautiful water cache. It looks like maybe the trail angel that maintains it there. See a car. Well, I just had such a really cool interaction. So Devilfish is the trail name. of the individual who maintains this cache. And not just this cache, but the last one I was at, and multiple ones in the desert. And I recognize the ones in the desert had the same bottles and caps. And he lives in the LA area, California, and he's taking care of his dad there and all this stuff. But he comes up and like usually sleeps in his truck and just literally maintains this kind of with the bubble for hikers. It's unbelievable how much he gives and asks for nothing in return. Literally doesn't accept donations. Like he's got like medical kits here, like power banks. He literally like charges when he's driving in between, you know, refilling waters and stuff. He uses the engine in his car to charge these power banks so then hikers can charge up. And he's got books and like toilet paper and bug spray and like a whole medicine cabinet here. I mean, the generosity of someone just to do that is one of these, and the logistics and time and money that go into that is crazy. But I think he maintains 5 of these, a couple in the desert, a couple up here. He hiked the trail in 2014, thru-hiked it all. And I guess what this specific water cache used to have a sign up here that said, when empty, please call this number, which obviously does you no good if you get here and it's empty. And apparently it's very unreliable. And then those people just stopped doing it. And so he picked up the slack in 2016 and he's been doing it ever since. And, you know, he asked for nothing. He's not like, he's just an unsung hero. It's unbelievable. So a huge, huge thank you to this man. I mean, it's amazing how much it impacts every hiker that comes through here. Because without this, I mean, I still just did a 22-mile water carry to avoid having to go far off trail. But, you know, even if I had, you're still, this is separating, breaking up really long water carries. So it's really helpful. It's really cool to have gotten to meet him and just, you know, so a big thank you again to him and all he does for the PCT. And he said, you know, to get involved, you know, because I kept pressing, like you do so much, what can we do? He's like, we can get involved with trail maintenance, like helping get rid of blowdowns. And, you know, I really pressed on the donations. He's like, you can donate to the Warner Springs Community Center in my name, if that's what he tells people, if they really press him, which, because they have like food banks and stuff like that. That was early on in the trail. So I will do that. That's my commitment. I will do that after this whole trail is done. And I'm, you know, in a place to kind of be organized and all that again. So that will be post-trail, but I will do that in his name as a thank you. And also just, wow, I mean, the amount of time and effort that takes. So anyways, I am at Wendigo Pass here. This is where 90+% of people in the last week have been rerouting, saved 7 or 9 miles, and it's all flat. I will be continuing on the PCT. I heard of 2 people. When I talked to somebody, they said they talked to, as a Sobo hiker, they said they talked to over 20 Nobos. Only 2 people had gone this way, and which is the official trail, and that they're purists. And sorry, my watch was about to autosave and get rid of my hike. And that one lady I talked to from Australia coming south. So I just talked to Devilfish as well, a trail angel, and he said it's fine. It's technically not contained according to like the Watch Duty app, but they have fire lines, or this is all kind of new terminology for me, but where they'll basically cut down a bunch of trees to stop the fire from spreading beyond that line, like ready to go, because it's been spreading to the south, and they have them all along the east. So it shouldn't be a huge threat to the PCT, just smoke, which isn't great, but I can deal with it. So I think my plan is to go 11 more miles from here and camp for the night by Summit Lake, which is kind of in the thick of the PCT in terms of closest to the emigrant fire, but should be okay. In worst case, I'll just keep hiking through the night if I have to. A lot of people do the Oregon Challenge, which is how many miles can you hike in 24 hours anyways, and I don't want to do that because I don't want to throw off my sleep schedule, but if I have to for, you know, just whatever, safety or smoke out, I will. So that's the plan. See you down trail. All right, after having a couple tortillas and filling up about 2 liters of water, thank you again to Devilfish for all of that. I'm heading in. I think there's a very good chance I won't see anybody until I'm out of this zone. So truly remote. And talking to Devilfish, you know, I've asked him about maintaining it, like the closest civilization, he said it's kind of like Bend, like there's really like nobody out this way. So let's get it into this continued adventure on the PCT scenario here, where again most people have been rerouting that way, but the PCT is open, and I'm not gonna take that reroute because it's easier and that just doesn't work for me. So we'll see. I have a feeling it's not going to be too bad, but you never know, and I'm going to stay vigilant. I did look on Watch Duty. They had like a weather report, and it's supposed to be drier, hotter conditions today and into tomorrow. And then there's a thunderstorm warning from 2 to 8 p.m. tomorrow. So, like, lightning obviously can start more fires and conditions that could spread quickly. So, I don't really want to hike through the night. I don't think it's necessary. It's definitely very okay from the lady I talked to who did this, the trail angel who's very familiar with what's going on. And the PCTA has not, there's no closure, so it's fine. But it might be prudent of me to try to get through all this before 2 p.m.-ish tomorrow. So I might get up super early and try to get those last, I think it'll be like 20 some miles done to get to Shelter Cove. Also, I just heard from Devilfish that there are 2 new closures on the trail. One's in Syed Valley. That's where I stayed at Brian's place. So really hope he's okay. And I'll check in. I'll send him a text message when I have service again. And everyone in Syed Valley is okay. And the second was one up in Washington somewhere. So that's a ways off for me, but it's the first time hearing of both those. Those are closures. This is not a closure, so I'm not skipping it. I ain't skipping. I'm not just gonna like video every time I see smoke. Obviously there's gonna be smoke. There's a 21,000 acre fire. I don't know, maybe like 10 miles now north, and then a little bit, maybe like 4 or 5 miles west of where I'm at currently. As mentioned, I'm gonna get as close to 3.5 miles range of it. So that'll be a lot of smoke. I'll report once in a while, but can kind of assume that's the conditions here. I don't even have my buff on. It's totally fine to be breathing here right now. At least it feels like it is. Well, I got some nice butt chafing that's returned today. Thankfully, I have my body glide stick. Since I experienced it last time, I'm pretty much always going to carry that on me. But yeah, I mean, it's probably something like this, the blisters, butt chafing. It's probably bound to happen at some point with what I put my body through these last 6 days. I mean, by the time today's done, I'll have done, I think, just under 170 miles in 6 days. They are easier miles in general, but there's been some hard stretches for sure. And even if it was entirely flat, that's a lot of stress to put your body under, and without weight. But of course, I'm carrying a fairly heavy pack too. So I think some of these things are bound to happen. So trying not to get too flustered by it, just accept it, deal with it. Usually stuff like the blisters, the pain goes away after a couple days, day or two. Chafing usually seems to resolve itself when you have the body glide in a day or two. But yeah, a little beat up at the moment, but overall very, very grateful for how I'm feeling. So I'm currently walking mile 1,882. The part where the PCT is closest to the emigrant fire and where this sort of alert was issued is at mile 1890 to 1897. It's not to say, obviously, I had the impact from it 2 days ago, 50 miles back, because of how the winds are blowing with the smoke, right? But the reason I was mentioning it back at that water cache is that's where people were rerouting from. So, like, I'm committed at this point. I'm not second guessing it at all. What I am considering, though, is depending on the circumstances, like the 11 miles from the water cache I was planning to do to the next water source, that puts me right in the middle of that 7 mile range, that 1890 to 1897, in the beginning of it. I think it'll be fine, but we'll see. I might end up doing a bunch of night hiking and just pushing through that whole zone. I'd prefer not to, just because I don't want to get an overuse injury and throw off my sleep schedule, but I'm going to be vigilant here. Definitely smelling a little bit more smoke as I turned directions just now. There's a marmot. I haven't seen one of these in so long. Hope he's okay with all the smoke. All right, it's going mostly good so far. I'd say the smoke, I have this on because it's comparable to how it was 2 days ago when I was 50 miles back. Lighter, actually. I think it was worse 2 days ago. That's, you know, as I get closer to it, I'm sure it's gonna get thicker and worse than 2 days ago. But as of now, it's actually a little better than it was 50 miles back, but it's still bad enough where I want to have it covered. But all right, I got 6 miles left, exactly 2 hours till sunset. So I just got to keep pushing. I just took a 60-second rest on a rock where I just left my backpack on, tried to put my feet up and sat because I am kind of hurting all over right now, which is not surprising. I'm still very, very grateful for how I'm feeling overall, but I'm pretty sore. So got to push through these 6 and hopefully rest up tonight. My plan is still to camp in 6 miles, but if it's really bad with the smoke, I'll have to keep going. Look at the size of these mushrooms. Oh my gosh. Let's try to put my hand here so you can see. Crazy. It seems only fitting that my Quest bar is s'mores flavored, given it smells like there's a giant marshmallow roasting going on. My feet are just absolutely throbbing, killing me. So I had to stop. I haven't really stopped except for the 60-second break since the water cache. I've got 4.2 miles left to get to where I want to go. I'm getting attacked by mosquitoes here. Ugh. So the smoke is nothing crazy, but it's annoying enough where I want to keep this mask over my mouth and nose and the glasses on. Took the glasses off for a while and then my eyes were kind of feeling a little minor burning or whatever, so I put it back on. But the smoke's not thick enough to keep these damn mosquitoes away from me. So I got like a nice little double whammy here. Sunset was 1 minute ago. I have half a mile left. I think this will be a record for me for mileage in one day. I'm pretty beat. My feet are really hurting. I really hope I haven't done any damage or anything from overuse. My left foot, I feel like once in a while it steps like that stress fracture pain, but I think it's, as long as like I stop anytime it starts hurting or other things like it, so I think it's gonna be okay. I do just need to Russ, that is a massive footprint. What the fuck? Yeah. I'm feeling the smoke a little bit in my eyes, nothing too bad. This is Summit Lake, this is where I'm planning to camp. Got like a quarter of a mile left to get to a campsite near the water. Hope I didn't overdo it today, because I'm feeling all the feelings. Oh, this looks like a nice lake. I don't expect anyone to be here. Like I said, I'd be shocked if I see anyone coming through here, even though it is open. This looks so nice, summer evening. Probably have a private lake. There's a peninsula out there, that might be where I camp. Could go down in there too. And mosquitoes are gonna be bad though. Alright, I think I'm gonna try to camp in this peninsula. Check it out. Okay, this is pretty awesome. There's like nobody around. It's kind of like having a private place. Wow. This is really cool. I think this is gonna end up being the most epic tent site I've had all trail. I think this would be full if it wasn't for the fire, so some silver lining. Look at that moon. All right, this has been the end of day 120. Unless there's something else, I will see you all tomorrow. I came to scoop some water, but this is such a good view, I had to share it with y'all. That's like a proper lake.